Hello, hello. Thanks for watching another Earsketch video. And today, I'm going to show you how to create your own custom beats. Whereas before we were using Fit Media, using whatever was pre-programmed. Now we're going to create our own custom beats. So before I show you how to exactly do that, let's take a look at a little bit of theory here. And if you look at this right-hand side, you can actually search up different terms if you ever need a review or if you ever forget how to do something, you can always search them up in the toolbar. But let's take a look. So the first thing that we want to look at are beat strings. And what these do is they actually create the pattern. So just some terminology. If we look here on the right-hand side, so this is one measure, right? Measure one going to measure two. This is one measure. And if we scroll down, you'll see that each measure is broken up into four different beats. And you can see that over here on this diagram. And then going even further, oh, forgot to mention too, so each of these beats is one quarter note. But going even further, then each beat can be broken down even further into four subbeats, or what we call 16th notes. So if we have four beats and each beat can be broken down into four 16th notes, that means in total, one measure has 16 16th notes. Okay, so don't want to overload you with math here, but this is all going to add to what we're going to be working on. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, if I punch in here, so I'm going to show you today just how to create a very basic rock beat. And you're going to see what that sounds like. Okay, so let's create a new script. Let's call this practice beat pattern. Actually, let's call it practice beat. Hit create. And then we're going to go into block mode. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, and there's going to be three parts to this beat. It's going to be a kick, snare, and hi-hat. So I'm going to drag three variables. And we're going to model what we see here on the right-hand side. So the first one is kick, snare, and hi-hats. So don't worry too much if you're not sure what these terms mean. Just in that, just in general, this kick is like a boom sound. Snare is a pop, pop. And then the hi-hat is kind of like a tss, 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 tss. So we're gonna manipulate these and we're gonna make just a very simple pattern. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we need to load some sounds. And you can get a one-hit sound if we click on artists. And, or actually, even faster, this is say we wanted to get the kick. There it is. So I'm going to type in kick, scroll down where you see make beats, and I'm going to paste in this very first kick. It'll sound like this. Okay, and then let's do that for the snare. And actually, let me show you the other way that you can find this. So the other way you can find it, and see if that comes. Not okay. Let's just go click in snare, or actually, let's click OS underscore snare. There we go. This is the one we want. So let's again paste in the first one, OS snare one, and the last one we're going to want is hi-hat. And this one is going to be, so we type in the top part, OS close hi-hat. There it is. Great. Okay, so now we have sound loaded up to the variables. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pull up our functions. So we click on the purple. We're not going to use fit media this time. This time we're going to use makeBeat. So we'll start with the kick. And for the sound, now I'm going to type in kick. Track, we'll put this on track 1. Start it at measure 1. And if you notice, the fourth parameter here isn't an ending, but it's where we actually put the pattern in. All right, and for this pattern, we're going to put a 0. Basically, think of a 0 as a downbeat. And I'm going to put 3 plus signs. And then I'm going to put 4 minus signs. And then we'll repeat that. 0 plus plus, 3 plus signs, and then 4 minus signs. And basically what this is doing is, so it's going to be one beat is a kick, then another beat, which is made up of 4 sub beats, is a rest. Then we have another beat, another kick, and then 4 minuses again for a rest. So if we were to run it, it would sound something like this. Okay, so that's kick drum. Now let's do the same thing for snare drum. Okay, so we type in snare, and this time we want this on track 2. We're going to start it again at measure 1. And this time for this pattern, so basically, if we were to line it up with the top part, anytime the kick drum actually kicks, we want this to rest. So we're going to put 4 minus signs. 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we're going to put 0 and a 3 plus signs. Then another 1, 2, 3, 4. Then our last part. So at any point, if you're watching this on your own, you can pause to review, but let's run it and see what this looks like. So this is it. Let me make sure. So it looks something like this. Okay, so we're almost there. Last thing we need to do is to add in this hi-hat. Okay, so hi-hat is going to be right here, 3. Track 3, start it at 1. And for the hi-hat, it's more consistent. So it's not on an offbeat like the ones above, but what it's going to have is something very consistent, like a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's try 0, and we need to make sure we have 16 of these. So I'm going to count on 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus. I think I already lost count there. Should be 16 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There we go. And like I said, if you're watching it on your own, you can pause it to replay. And if you're watching it from in class, don't worry, there will be key pauses. Okay, so now we have the 3 drum parts set. Let's listen to what it sounds like. All right. So one other thing that you can do, so that's a pretty standard beat. One thing you can test out, and you can go ahead and try that out, is to replace all of these plus signs with other zeros. So in a lot of modern rap songs, you'll hear something that sounds like that. Let's listen to what that sounds like. Okay, that's about it. Let's listen to what this sounds like. Okay, and if you want to play around with it, then you can start adding pluses at different parts. So like say, for example, you have 3 hits and then a plus. Now there are 3 hits and a plus. Try that. Let's see what it sounds like. So just based on how you play around with that hi-hat, the beat sounds very different. So for that part, that will be up to you and how you decide to play around with that. Okay, now the last thing, if you notice, this beat that we made really only lasts for 1 measure. But we know a song will not last for 1 measure. So what you can do is if we exit out of block mode, we can actually copy and paste this. So we'll copy the 3 makeBeats, paste, and we need to change the measures now to start at 2. I'll do 1 more here. And in this third one, change this to start to 3. And let's do 1 more for 4. So we get 4 measures. Okay, so this is what we have now. Let's listen to it. And there we go. So that was a little tedious. It's called a for loop, and that's going to help beat this without having to copy and paste all of this amount of times, because imagine you had 30 measures. But that will be for the next video. Okay, so if you're in my class, let me know if you need any help. Good work, and I'll see you again in the next video.